First up is the physical geography maps. North Korea makes up the northern half of the Korean peninsula. It has numerous mountains along the middle of the country. Nongnim-san-mak is their main mountain range, being located in the central column of North Korea. Mount Paktu helps form the border between China and North Korea. There are many river valleys in the west that help them have fertile soil, and a few rivers in the north that also help them form borders. The Amnok River separates the country from China. The Tumen River separates it from Russia. The southern border is not formed by a physical feature, but by the 38th parallel. The elevation of this country varies depending on a mountain's location and a plain's location as well. The highest point is Paktu Mountain at 2,744 meters, and the lowest point is 0 meters at the coasts. Next up is the climate map. North Korea primarily has a humid continental climate with 4 distinct seasons. It has a very cold, dry winter that occasionally has snowstorms. In winter at the capital, the temperature ranges from -3 degrees Celsius and -13 degrees Celsius. The summers are hot, humid, and rainy because of monsoon winds that bring wet air from the Pacific Ocean. In summer at the capital, the temperature ranges from 29 degrees Celsius and 20 degrees Celsius. Typhoons happen at least once every summer on its peninsula. Usually about 60% of precipitation happens from June to September. Spring and autumn are mild with varying winds. However, when there are droughts in late spring, they can be followed by severe flooding. Now on to the vegetation maps. Coniferous forests cover the highlands in the center of the country. The western lowlands have temperate mixed forests, but deforestation means that not many of them are left. The original forests are almost completely gone. The lowlands have been deforested in order to make room for farms and homes. Common evergreen species in this country include camellias, camphor, spruce, larch, and yew trees. Deciduous forests include oaks, maples, alders, zekovas, and birches. However, pines are the most common type of tree. Other than trees, there are about 4,500 different plant species known. The soil of this country is very fertile when it is near the coast and plains, but when it is near a mountain, it's infertile and lacks the organic compounds that it needs to make it fertile.
Now for some information about the demographics of North Korea. Their GDP per capita is $1,800. The infant mortality rate is 68.89 deaths per 1,000 live births. The literacy rate is 99%. The HDI number is 0.733. In the population pyramid, their history of fighting wars can be seen in the 2 dips in the pyramid. They can also be explained by the North Korean famine of the 1990s. There is also a larger amount of women than there are men because of recruitment and deaths during wars, especially among the older people who lived during the Korean War. North Korea's population is clustered onto its plains on the coast and the southern border. Not many people live in the interior of the country because of the mountainous terrain. The overall density is 202.19 people per square kilometer. The largest city is the capital, Pyongyang, with over 3 million residents.
Next up is North Korea's history. In 1910, Japan annexed and colonized North Korea. However, the North Koreans were unhappy with this situation and resistance groups formed. tensions are still strained between the two countries. After Japan's defeat in the Second World War, Russia and the United States split control of the Korean peninsula between themselves at the 38th parallel. This arrangement was supposed to be temporary, but it ended up being permanent because the North didn't want the United Nations messing in their affairs. On September 9, 1948, Kim Il-sung declared the establishment of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. In 1950, the Korean War began and lasted for 3 years. 4 million soldiers and civilians were killed. A demilitarized zone was established at the 38th parallel with only 2.5 miles separating the two countries. Many families were separated because of this border, and there were talks to decide how they could be reunited, but they failed. From this time to the 1970s, Kim Il-sung was establishing a Stalinist state that greatly restricted the people's rights. In September 1991, North Korea officially joined the United Nations. Their economies started slowly collapsing in the following years, and Kim Il-sung died in 1994. His son Kim Jong-il took control, and seeing the problems, instead of trying to help the people, made policies that put military members above normal people. From 1996 to 1999, the country went through a famine that killed about 1 million people. Even today, they rely on food aid from other countries because of it. On December 2011, Kim Jong-il died, and his third son, Kim Jong-un, inherited his position. Moving on to the culture. North Koreans have many customs and traditions. For example, they enjoy spending time with their families, as families are the center of their society, and exchanging gifts. Hierarchy and structure are very important to them. They follow strict protocols when eating. You have to take off your shoes before you enter the house. You can't say goodbye while you are still inside, and only men can pour drinks or serve them. Fathers are viewed as the head of the family, and their opinions and authority are paramount, so women aren't supposed to get involved in making major decisions. 3 fun facts about North Korea are that they think that 7 is a lucky number, while 4 is an unlucky number, that bowing in North Korea is the same thing as a handshake in Western countries, and that red, yellow, and pink colors mean happiness in their culture.
Now for another aspect of their culture, the food. North Korea's main dishes have been known to be less spicy and more mild compared to South Korea. Due to geographical locations, North Korea has used its resources such as duck, ginger, and many other ingredients. In traditional terms, rice is known as the main dish, but other dishes may include barbecued beef stew, chicken and rice porridge, and several other dishes. The most popular side dish in North Korea is the kimchi dish. The side dish is made up of seasonal vegetables and salt. This is a side dish that can be cooked in numerous ways and allow people to get different results depending on how a particular person makes it. Normally, desserts are not served with main meals, but they can be served on certain special occasions and when drinking tea with someone. A few of the many popular desserts are a baked sweet pastry, chestnut cookies, and ginger cookies.
Next up is the religions and philosophies of North Korea. It is an atheist state, which means that public religion is discouraged and looked down on. However, the government claims that they have religious freedom. In fact, it has even gone so far as to sponsor a few religion groups to make the people think that they have religious freedom. Despite this, there are a couple religions being practiced in the country. There are people who believe in Korean shamanism, a traditional religion, and there are small groups of Buddhists and Christians. There is also Juche, a religion that worships the supreme leader of the country as God. Many people follow the ways of Confucianism, referred to as Chindoism. In 2005, 64.3% of people were not religious or practiced Juche, 16% practiced Korean shamanism, 13% practiced Chindoism, 4.5% practiced Buddhism, and 1.7% practiced Christianity.